have some awesome matches for you between two high schools, Walnut High School and Oxford High School. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Brownling, and my co-caster today is going to be Heartless. Heartless, how you doing, man?
I'm doing alright, can't complain too much, and if I did, it wouldn't do any good anyway, so why bother?
Oh, well, there you go. Alright, guys, well, we have some awesome casts for you today between Walnut and Oxford. We do like to bring you guys a full set of matches. For those of you who aren't familiar with the High School Star League, let me go ahead and let you know a little bit about this organization. High School Star League is an organization that provides players with an opportunity to win some great scholarship money for college. $5,000 on the line here for StarCraft 2. And while we're at it, going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we get started for the day. Of course, you see them in the bottom right of your screen: Twitch, Newegg, Rockcat, MSI, Blizzard, and last but certainly not least, Jinx, purveyor of fine gaming clothing. So we're going to go ahead and hop into our first match here. And while we're getting in, let me tell you about the structure of High School Star League. So each school puts out 2 players to play for their team, and it's a round robin, and so everyone will get to play everyone. So your 2 players from your high school will both get to play the other players at the other high school. Of course, no matches between, you know, the players within the same high school. So that gives us a total of 4 games, and we're about to get into the very first. Now, just a little caveat for you guys. We haven't seen these matches. We just received them. So we're going to be right there with you watching everything unfold. And that's kind of the great thing about StarCraft, isn't it? I don't know about you, Heartless, but I kind of like to see as the story unfolds, the constant struggles for each player. And then sometimes it comes down to one big fight, one big climax, and then it's GG.
Isn't that the beauty of StarCraft? I love it. And especially not knowing who won beforehand, because there's always that level of anticipation. You're always like, well, what are they going to do next? What's coming next? I love it. I absolutely love this game. It's got so many intricacies to it. And
I just saw Rogue versus CJ Intis Hero last night. Rogue, of course, the Jin Air Dream Wings player, playing in the round of 8 for GSL. And Rogue did something very weird that I haven't seen before. He said, well, I know you're going to hit me with some force fields, so I'm going to get very fast ultras, 2 base ultras, to crush your force fields and then destroy your army and surround it and destroy it. So you never know when players will come up with a strategy like that. But let's talk about these players here. We're going to introduce them as soon as we get in here. And they are 2 Masters players here. We're going to see the pinnacle here. We haven't seen Masters before, so this ought to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Catalina, hoy hoy hoy, and spawning in the left section of our map here, representing, actually he's representing Oxford High School as well as his clan. He is Print F. Kind of a weird name.
And spawning in, whoop, there we go, spawning in the 1 o'clock position, playing for Walnut, it is Intense. And I actually have to give a huge shout out to Print F, because that is a command in lots of different programming languages. So I already love this guy.
Alright, well, a little bit strange here. He's going for a pylon in his mineral line. Not sure what that is about.
You typically don't see that.
Yeah, that's some very weird placement. Sometimes you'll see it at the ramp, sometimes you'll see it near the gas, but in the mineral line, you can see his probes are actually having to go around it, and it actually increases the time in which the minerals are delivered to the base. So he will have a little bit of delayed mining there from that, not too much, but...
along with the double probe scout.
Yeah, and he's talking about pressure. He's saying, you know, I get a lot of pressure from playing these. Do you think maybe he's already made a few mistakes just from the pressure?
Possibly. Honestly, I think he's going for a little bit of a cheese because he's got the Forge out, and typically you don't go Forge early against a Terran.
No, I would suspect this is going to be, you know, everything leads me to believe that it's going to be a cannon rush, and we do have a pylon going down in the base of our Terran player. Intense, not really paying attention to that probe, as we know this is extremely unusual in PvT, because the Terran can just lift their buildings. So why cannon rush? Why bother checking for a cannon rush, Heartless?
Well, you would never see it typically, but he now sees it. He sees the cannon go down and also a gateway. This is a very interesting and quite unorthodox cannon rush.
I like the response. He's instantly putting a bunker down.
Yeah, that's a fantastic.
SCVs. Oh, he almost trapped the SCVs. That would have been great play.
That would have been awesome if he had been able to trap them. Now, the big thing is this Reaper that's about to pop out. I bet he's wishing that he went for Marine first right now.
He trapped
but the
the
Reaper
SCVs,
finishes.
Heartless.
He did trap them. That's a huge pickup. He's gonna kill the probe, but I'm afraid this might be a little bit too late because the other where'd that second probe go? Did it die out? No, it's in the bottom left part of the base. There's a second probe here, so this cannon is gonna have enough range to be able. Actually, no, it's not gonna. It's gonna die to the bunker here in a second.
Right, but we do have a Zealot on the way here, and
yeah,
this could do a lot of damage, and the second cannon is here to reinforce.
Along with another pylon on the other side. This is a double-pronged attack. This is a very interesting cannon rush. I've never actually seen a cannon rush quite like this.
This is refined cheese. This is not your typical American cheese. This is smoked Gouda that we're seeing here.
Indeed. Now, the question is, does he see... No, he does not see the cannon on the other side. All he knows is about what's going on the right side, the Zealot that popped out. He sees the gateway that's chronoing out Zealots. He's trying to take it down. But the thing is if he doesn't scout this stuff on the left side, this could actually be really, really bad. This is quite the interesting cannon rush. I'm kind of at a loss. I've never seen this before.
Oh, he doesn't know about the other cannon. Okay, well, we do have another cannon on the way. Does Intense do anything about it? He's still targeting down. Okay, he takes out the pylon on the right side. Double cannon production. I'm sorry, cannon and pylon out front here. And it will go down because, it will be cancelled because there's nothing here to hit these Marines. Okay, Marines finally get in range of the cannon. And Print F needs to be careful here. He needs to get a cannon further out. That cannon is not able to cover the pylon. What does Print F do from here, Heartless? I would like to see him expand while continuing pressure, and it looks like he will expand it home. He puts down another pylon. Let's take a look at the unit count here. 20 probes to 17 SCVs and 2 mules. I would give it here to our Terran player. He finds himself in a great position despite being a little bit locked down in his own base.
Yeah, and that's the big kicker, is yes, he is technically down in workers, but the real story here is he already has, what is that, 8 Marines? 7 Marines. He already has 7 Marines out. To Print F's, what, 1 Zealot and a cannon? That's not enough. I mean, that is just straight up not enough to what...
Oh, here Print F goes again in the bottom left corner of the map, setting up another pylon in the base. He is not giving up on this. Does he go for Warp Gate? Does he warp in units, do you think? He's got the Warp Gate tech on the way.
I do. I think that's what he goes for. And he's got Warp... so Warp Gate's on the way. The only thing is he has no powered gateways to use. That's the thing. There are none.
Well, Intense has his first tank out. Tank's an unusual choice here in PvT, or I'm sorry, yeah, PvT, but given the situation, I think it could work very well. He can just siege up the ramp of his opponent and really can't do anything here. And I wonder if this isn't the classic case of maybe Print F cheesing his way to Masters, because his decision-making to have cannons at the ramp, not really the best choice that I've ever seen. Not a choice I would expect to be made by a Masters player, but who knows? It's all speculation, to be honest.
He's going for a Twilight Council, but he doesn't have any power gateways. He just puts down the second and third gateways, which are finally going to be powered.
And the problem is he puts them all at the front of his base, which will be directly in the range of this tank.
This tank is going to start wailing on here. Now, the one thing that PrintF has going for him with these cannons is the fact that he does have high ground advantage. But the main thing is this cannon is not going to be in range of the siege tank because Intense is going to drop a scan here in just a moment. I mean, he just now has enough energy for a scan. Probably going to see it here in just a moment. Probably going to use the tank to take out one of these cannons and then run the Marines up the ramp and then take it out. And with that Artosis pylon, once that's gone, it's done.
And the thing is, this is why you don't cannon rush Terran. If they survive, it's very easy for them to come back. It's not like cannon rushing Zerg, you know, or even another Protoss. Terran can get their production up very quickly and just go kill you. And that's what we're seeing here. We're going to have 2 siege tanks on the low ground and quite a few Marines. Looking at the Marine count, we're going to have 19 Marines, a medevac, 4 tanks here.
There's no way to get around it. Oh, and yeah, with medevac for high ground vision, this is done.
Yeah, this is GG right here.
Yeah, they're way out of range. This tank that's now sieging up can start wailing on the pylon. As soon as that pylon's gone, it's done. There's nothing he can do because it's
gonna... 26 to 69. Yeah. Incredible here. There's absolutely nothing our Protoss can do, like you've said. A little bit of a stutter step, I'm not even sure necessary, but GG well played is called, and the first game will go to Walnut High School.
That was a very well executed defense. Granted, I have to say that was a very unorthodox cannon rush, because when you cannon rush, hold on, excuse me. Sorry about that. Typically, when you cannon rush, like you said before, number 1, it's not against Terran. But more so than that, if you are going to cannon rush, you typically don't put a gateway down along with it.
No, absolutely not. That definitely, that definitely does put you behind, because once that gateway goes down, you need a gateway to get your tech out. Now, fortunately, the gateway wasn't destroyed, which means that he can still get his cybernetics core and everything back home. But as you saw, as you said, even though he had the cybernetics core, even with the Twilight Council, he had no gateways. Not a single one was powered until the very end there, at which point 2 gateways versus a Terran with 4 tanks, a medevac, and 19 Marines. 2 gateways does not a defense make.
Nope, not at all.
But we are up 1-0 for Walnut versus Oxford. We're going to hop into our second match. Once again, we're going to be seeing intense play here, representing Walnut High School. And our other player is going to be Aquero, a Zerg player representing Oxford. Now, we've already seen Intense's fairly decent defensive skills. Do you think our Zerg player would be better spent, his time better spent macroing up, given the league discrepancies we have here? Or does he go for the cheese anyway?
I think at this point, Intense plays safe. Because when you see a huge ladder discrepancy like this, typically the one who is lower in the ladder feels like they have to cheese and do something quick. And so with that being the case, it's better to play safe than sorry, obviously, because there's so much opportunities for cheese when you're playing a lower league player.
Please be kind, I'm bad, Aquero says. Well, Aquero here, as we mentioned, a little bit down here in the leagues. He's only a gold league and he's going up against a master player. Let's go ahead and introduce them, spawning at the top of our map. He's going to be representing Oxford High School, trying to bring it back 1-1 for his team. He is our orange Zerg player, Aquero.
And spawning in the bottom left, sorry, not the bottom left, the bottom side of the map, playing for Walnut, it is Intense. I guess you could say this is an Intense
logo here. I always like pointing out the logos. He's playing, his clan is Psystorm Gaming. Rather sweet logo, if you look at it. And on the other side of the map, our Zerg player representing Quasar Gamers. It's got a very nice celestial image there. A little bit picture of the night sky, Quasar, as you might imagine. And we'll have to see what he does. Now is the decision point at which we will see either pool or hatch. I would recommend a hatch first, but it looks like pool first for our Zerg. Now, this is common for defense against a Reaper, but you typically take a gas first if you're going to put the pool down. Normally, you'd want to go hatch first so you can get some more drones out, and now he does go for that hatch. So, really, the pool first is going to have no benefit, because the Lings won't be able to chase down the Reapers, because he doesn't have any gas. He won't have that speed, so a little bit of an interesting choice by our Zerg player, a little bit of not quite understanding the point of the build order, but that's okay, we'll forgive him. He is going to survive at least for the next minute, so let's see how he does.
It will allow him to be able to get the queen out, though. I think that's one of the bigger things, is because he did go for the pool first before the gas, his queen will be just a few... I don't want to say it's going to make a huge difference, But with the queen coming out just a few seconds earlier, it will be nice for when that Reaper gets there.
Alright, well, Quero does take his gas. Or, well, he gets a gas. He hasn't actually taken it yet. Okay, there he goes. 3 in the gas. Likely going to be for speed. I would like to see it, as it is going to be Reaper first here out of Intense. And, oh, double Reaper for Intense. Okay, so this is something that we don't see a whole lot in today's meta. You don't see double Reaper. You see 1 Reaper, 3 Reaper, Reaper all-ins, and then you see people skipping the Reaper, going for Quick Reactor, getting double Marine production. 2 Reapers, though, really not seen a whole lot in ladder or tournaments anymore. It used to be very popular, but not anymore.
Well, the question is how many drones is he going to get for his troubles? He already gets 1 and possibly a set and possibly a ling or 2. The real question is if that queen's going to be able to help push it away, and he does get 1 ling. The queen does not get it. Okay, so one drone, 1 ling.
Actually,
could be
he
worse.
got 2 lings, actually.
Oh, he did? I must have missed that.
So,
oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, 100 minerals already wasted by the Zerg player, and the big thing is that while this Reaper is out doing damage, he's preventing the Zerg from droning up. And that's really what the Zerg wants to do, is he wants a lot of drones so he can get that big economy, get Banelings, Zerglings, Mutas, Ultras, all the good things that Zerg wants. And, he will not be able to do so with the current counts, really. He's only got 19 drones. We actually already have more SCVs than drones, and our Terran player going for the very quick expansion, now going into Orbital, and we'll be able to call down double Mule here, Heartless.
Yeah, this is looking really good for him. And not to mention the fact that he's already got double Hellion production on the way. He's getting a tech lab on the barracks. He's sitting in a really nice situation. Channeling, I don't know if I want to say he's horribly channeling his inner bomber, because it depends if whether or not he's going to go bio or mech. But getting that 3rd command center is really going to be beneficial for him. But the one thing is this: he has to be really careful against Aquero, because that's a lot of lings moving out all across the map.
That is a lot of lings.
Speed is about to finish.
Yes, but with 2 Hellions and 2 Reapers, appropriately microed, he may be able to, you know, kill this outright. 2 more Hellions are going to be joining the fray. I'm not too worried about Intense, because he's got a double, you know, he's got double, production, SCV production. He has double mules. He has his buildings up, thankfully. The depots are not lowered. He's going to be able to repair these if he notices. Okay, he should notice. Alright, he pulls SCVs to repair. And this is completely thwarted. And what should have been, you know,
oh! The Hellions are getting so many kills. All the lings are going down. Oh, this is not good for Aquero.
No,
this is not good at all.
He wanted to do some damage with that Heartless. Those lings could have been drones. He could have had more than 20 more drones right now, but instead, we find ourselves with 26 drones to 33 SCVs, double mule production, and Stim is more than halfway done here, Heartless. This is not a good position for our Zerg player, especially considering, we have no Baneling Nest.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Baneling Nest, when that attack happened, if he had a Baneling Nest, then that would have been huge. And he could have done it because he's floating 460 gas. That is a lot of gas. And, I mean, if some of those were Banelings, you know, he could have busted down the wall, gotten the mineral line, but now he's just sitting in a really hurting position. One of the queens goes down.
The drones aren't even mining.
Yeah, the drones, I think that was a little bit of a misclick. And the drone roast is going to happen when the 2nd queen goes down. All the Hellions do so much damage, and GG.
Alright, well, it was a fairly one-sided game. I mean, let's be fair, that's kind of what you expect. You know, when you go up against a player like Intense, who is a Grandmaster player, you say, okay, he's really strong, he's really good. Of course, this is what's going to happen. So, you know, what can you say about that match, Heartless?
Once again, I really wish he had a Baneling Nest. He had the gas for it, and he had the gas for Banelings too. If he had been able to put down a Baneling Nest and not lose that, because after that first bout against the Lings, he had the trades were 35 Lings for 2 Hellions. That's what was lost, was At that point, 1 drone, 35 lings, and then all that the Terran, all that Intense had lost was the 2 Hellions. And at that point, you know, if he had Banelings or something like that, something other than lings, it would have been so much better for him.
Yeah, even the Banelings would have been nice to defend with, because even though they're not the best against Hellions, they do still do splash damage. Okay.
Exactly.
And he had the gas for it, not to mention the fact that even though, you know, again, Banelings aren't the best against Hellions, they do burst damage. It's damage that's done all of a sudden. He can punch his way through and get down his ramp and defend. But, you know, once you let those Hellions up the ramp, that was pretty much it, because you're not able to surround the Hellions at that point. It's very difficult, you know? So, I mean, if you could keep them on the ramp, keep them from coming up the ramp, put your queens on the hold there, he might have had a better chance. But let's not worry about that game. We've got 2 more games. Heartless, and right now we find Walnut up 2-0. Now, Intense has played both of his matches. They cannot call out Intense again. And so, it's going to be Print F, your good programmer. Now, remember, Print F was also a master player. Okay? He did lose Intense with his cannon rush, but he is a master level player. And he's going up against Pro Killer from Oxford. I'm sorry, from Walnut. So, Print F from Oxford, Pro Killer from Walnut. It's really up to Pro Killer here to seal the deal. Because if he's a master level player, we can expect a good match. If he's anything below, or with the exception being maybe a high diamond, top 8 diamond, if he's anything below, he may not be able to seal the deal for his team here.
Yeah, this is a really critical game. He has to channel his if he is gonna cheese. And he's going to cannon rush. I mean, he has to channel full-on Wiedemans or something.
Yeah.
To make sure that he can
lock.
Pro
Killer is like a gold or platinum player. It may be that he doesn't have the know-how, the skill, the APM, the micro, the macro to defend against that same build. I mean, remember, Intense is a master player. He knows how to micro, he knows how to macro, he knows how to defend. Against a lower-ranked player, I would say that Printf's cheese might just work.
Possibly. Well, once again, it is if he is going to cannon rush, it's against a Terran. So if he's going to do it, he's got to make it count. But you know, there's always other sorts of cheese or other things you can do as a Protoss against a Terran. Right. You can always go Oracles, and I mean on Secret Spring, more likely than not, Oracles is going to be a really good choice because the mineral line at the main is so exposed.
And you have those rocks on both sides, which does make it difficult to get a good force through. You don't want to choke your units into that middle lane. You know, that's bait for tons of Zealots to come in and chop up your Marines. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. Once again, we are on Secret Springs and spawning in the left portion of our map. He is going to be representing Oxford High School. Currently down 0-2. Can he bring it back for his team? It is our green Protoss player, Print F.
And spawning in the and spawning in the top right-hand position, playing for Walnut, representing Clan XIST. I'm not sure what that is. It is Pro Killer.
Exist.
I
guess. I mean, I'm just guessing. Exist. I don't know what an Exist is, but it sounds dangerous. And
I have to say that logo is cool.
The logo is pretty sick, I will admit. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the leagues here. We have a Diamond player in Pro Killer. Okay, so we have a Diamond and a Master from Walnut, and a Gold and Master from Oxford. So already Oxford feeling a little bit of pressure here, but they can bring it back with Pro Killer. Especially because, it looks like he's going to be walling off here. He's going to be pretty safe.
He's got to be careful, though. Because guess what? The Forge went down again. It's going to be another cannon rush. Here we go. And if he can shut down this probe, considering that he'll be able to finish that wall off by the time the probe gets there, Pro Killer is going to be in a fantastic situation.
Alright, well, the second supply depot... Oh, no, he goes scouting instead of goes to the supply depot.
He doesn't put it down. Oh, my gosh. The first probe is the distraction. The second probe is going to be what's actually hitting. Oh, wait. No, just triple pylons. What?
He has completely blocked off his probe here.
Yes, he has.
The SCVs are being pulled. This is a great thing by Prince F, and let me explain. 6 SCVs are not going to be able to break this down. He's going to cancel And he's going to save some minerals. And see, he's just now blocking off. He's going to cancel. He was just blocking off, so it couldn't be destroyed. This is an amazing cannon rush.
This is really
his
good.
Inner Wiedemann's. The micro is intense. Almost all the SCVs are off the line now. The first Marine is out here. Is it going to be able to do enough to save the mineral line, though? All these SCVs will be taking down this pylon. Pylon is destroyed, but low ground vision is granted, and these SCVs can no longer attack the low ground. A gateway does come in here, Heartless. Ooh, this is going to be intense.
He needs to cancel the cannon because that's not... Okay, good.
Oh no, he sacrifices the probe.
Yeah, that's not good at all. What one of the things ProKiller needs to do is, with some of the minerals that he has, is get another supply depot down. I mean, number one, he's supply blocked at the moment, but get another supply depot down at the wall, so just in case another probe comes in, he can't actually get into the main. But with the gateway going down, this is big, because the Cyber Core, he's going to probably start the Cyber Core in his main like he did last time. And once Warp Gate finishes, he can warp the Stalkers into the base of ProKiller. Okay. So ProKiller has to be very careful here.
Here's where I'm afraid for Printf. A bunker is down in the main, right where the SCVs are. He can get a full surround on that bunker and just repair the hell out of it. We can't say the same for that full surround with Printf. It's going to be very difficult for him to get a full surround because that's going to be a lot of Zealots, and we don't even have one on the way yet. Now, this is by no means an all-in. He can transition out of this, but with so much that he's invested, it would be nice for him to get some damage done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the question is he going to start Warp Gate here with the gas that he actually just started, or is he going to start a Stalker? I'm curious as to which one he goes for. I don't know if I agree with the decision both times he's done this cannon rush to put a gateway down along with it. Typically, you don't do that. That's a really dangerous thing to do because the price for the gateway is another cannon that he could have had that would be attacking these Marines right now. And now the gateway would just, since it will not be able to build anything before it gets shut down, is a 350 minerals for ProKiller.
He puts another pylon down in the top right. This guy loves his pylons, but my friend, pylons do not shoot. He's gonna tuck his probe in near the cannon, okay, and it will be safe for now. Alright, well,
no. Yeah, the probe it's done. Okay, the question is Warp Gate gonna finish? Because he did start it. Is Warp Gate gonna finish before all these pylons are taken out? And if so, how many gates is he going to be able to put down in order to be able to warp something into his opponent's base? And the answer is probably going to be 3. Yep, okay, 3 gates go down in the main base. Warp Gate is just about halfway done. He needs to chrono that. He has so much energy on his Nexus. He needs to triple chrono this cybernetic score. He needs to get Warp Gate down. If he doesn't, no, he's doing Zealot leg enhancements.
Well, he's seen the mostly Marine composition. He's thinking, if my Zealots can close, I can just wipe out your Marine force. Which is not a bad idea. Right now we have Marauder and Marine production on the way, or actually just Marine production. He does have a tech lab, but he's using it for stim. He's not getting any Marauders. It is pure Marines. And pure Marines is good against cannons, but it's not going to be good against this mass Zealot composition that Printf is going to bring right inside the main of ProKiller here.
At this point for Printf, what do you do?
I think you go all in, you use the gateways, and you do some damage. Zealot legs now 50% done, stim already about 80% done, and +1 on the way for our Terran player. We do have the starport on the way here. Gonna finish up, we'll be able to make medevacs. Now here's the big question. Does ProKiller suspect the pylon in the top right of his natural? 3 sentries have been warped in. He does not know that that third pylon exists. He's taken out the cannon, he's taken out the 2 pylons. If he moves out with this army, he will die. He needs to... does he stay home or does he go when he gets his when he gets his 2 medevacs out? That's what I want to know. If he goes, he's dead. There's a very tense moment to see what's going on in the mind of Pro Killer. He's moving down the ramp.
He's going... Oh, boy. Okay, one of the questions, though, is what is Printf going to have at home in order to stop this? He needs to warp in some sentries at home in order to be able to shut these... to shut this Bio Army from being able to get up his ramp. As long as he warps in 4 sentries, he'll be fine. But at this point, he can only warp in 1, and the army is going to come in. All he has is 2 cannons. That is not going to be able to shut this many Marines down.
And it's an Artosis pylon. It is an Artosis pylon.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
that is not good.
Oh, but the cannons have warded off Pro Killer. Pro Killer says, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, he scans, sees that's all he's got. All he has to do is take out the
pylon.
That's all it is. Alright, that's it. That's game.
There's absolutely nothing here that can stop this. Now, let's keep in mind, legs are finished. Okay? He's doing some damage in the main of Pro Killer, but the question is, how long can he survive? There's no mining for the Terran player, but can he beat the already existing forces? Because he is still producing.
Well, the boys are coming across too. He pulled the boys as well. This is it. This is base race full on, and Pro Killer is gonna get this way quicker because I mean, all Pro Killer has to do is lift off and move out.
Printf has made a base. Opponent's base.
He did. Ooh, but the scouting command center is gonna see this.
Right, but the question is, do the forces of Pro Killer have enough to take out the army of his opponent? It all comes down to army. 8 Zealots, 5 Sentries versus 4 Marauders, 17 Marines. With appropriate force fields and Guardian Shields, the Protoss army still looks pretty scary here. Oh, and the command center is burning down!
That's big. Oh, because... if the command center goes, he has nothing...
and he can't build anything.
And he can't build anything because he can't even build an SCV. The command center, he's got to float that back. He needs to land it. He needs to build an SCV. He needs to repair it. Oh boy, that's going down quick.
Alright, well, here come the Zealot army. The Guardian Shields are okay, but they're not going to be good enough. It looks like... the Starport's going crazy here. Look at it.
Yeah, the healing potential... It was the healing potential on the medevacs. GG is called by Printf. The medevacs are what saved that game.
What an absolutely crazy game. I really thought that a Protoss player may have an opportunity to bring it back. They should, you know, they should give a medal to, Printf there for that amazing, you know, gameplay. It was very exciting. It was very touch and go there for a minute. I think what killed him, though, was the fact that he couldn't reinforce. He had an Artosis pylon at the front of his base against a Terran player, no less, who can just snipe it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is why cannon rushes don't work against Terran. I mean, that's just flat out. That's why they don't work. Because Terrans recover so easily, and they're so mobile.
Right, yeah. You know, you put all the cannons at their base. That's great. They don't care. They get in a medevac, they boost over to your base, and they kill you.
Exactly. Oh, boy.
Alright.
Well, I do have to say, very well held by both. Both players who got cannon rushed by Printf. That was very well held.
Yeah, and now we do have a definitive match here. It is 3-0 Walnut versus Oxford. Walnut will win this week's series. But we have a special treat. We're not done just yet. We have one more game, Heartless.
Sweet.
And
ZVT.
Oh, I'm a little bit confused here. Because Intense is playing again.
It's who?
Intense. And he's already played his 2
Intense.
games. So maybe the teams were like, well, let's just play whoever because we've already lost. You know, even if we get 3-1, still, you know, don't win the week. So I don't know the situation there. And they're bringing in another player for Oxford in Kellizer. And it is going to be a TVT on Deadwing.
TVT.
Yep.
I was hoping for TVZ, but oh well, that's okay. TVT is good as well.
And we're going to get right into it in just a second. Deadwing. Yes or no?
About what?
Deadwing, yes or no?
Playing no, casting yes.
Why?
I hate playing Deadwing because it's so big, there's so much to go on, but I love casting it because there is so much going on and because it is so big. I hate playing it, but I love casting it.
Alright, well, we do have a TVT, and it is 2 master players, Intense and Calazur. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning in the top right of Deadwing Ladder Edition, representing Walnut High School and Storm Gaming. It's going to be our Blue Terran player, Intense.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as our Red Terran playing for Oxford and no clan of his own, just playing for himself. It is Calazur. You know, if I remember right, I think I've actually seen Calazur in a couple things before.
I think I've seen Calazur before, and I can't remember where. But I know I've seen him before. The name is very familiar. Maybe we saw him in another Oxford matchup, but I want to say I've seen him on a team or something, in a tournament somewhere.
I think we may have actually seen him in some SCV Rush tournaments.
It may be.
Because that name is very familiar.
Alright, well, we do have Gas Before Barracks. It's going to be a Reaper build out of Calazur, and for Intense, he is also going for his Gas. Likely also going to be going for a Reaper. Now, these Reaper versus Reaper battles, when they meet in the middle of the map, are always funny. I'm hoping we get one of those.
Reaper versus Reaper.
Reaper going back and forth, buzzing around. It's funny. They can't kill each other.
It's so true. It's so true. Reaper versus Reaper is... You're right. It's kind of like... You just want to start singing along, you just go da 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 da, because that's exactly what it is. It's Reapers versus Reapers. You can't kill them because there's never enough DPS to kill them, and the healing potential for the Reaper is just too high. And it's just one of the most hilarious things you ever see.
By the way, I love the little StarCraft things that you can have around your base. If you look at Calazur's base, he's got the little StarCraft's star logo on his base. It's incredibly cute.
The StarCrafts is amazing. The StarCraft Zergling is quite possibly one of the most adorable things you will ever see.
Oh, yeah.
The stars are just... yeah, I don't even know what else to say about that. Except for the fact that both of them did not go Reaper. They saved their gas and both went factory first. Calazur's factory a little bit sooner than Intense, but not soon enough that it's going to make it. It's not going to make a huge difference.
I want to see if we're gonna. I want to see if we're gonna see Widow Mines out of these players, or if we're gonna see tanks. Because the Widow Mine Hellion Few Marine push has been made quite popular by players like Polt, Team Liquid's Hero, and no, I'm not sorry, and Bomber. Bomber was the other one I was thinking of.
Okay, I was gonna say Hero is a Protoss player, so if he can do Widow Mine drops, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Not quite sure why I said Hero, but, oh, I know why I said Hero, because I was watching him play GSL last night.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Hero on the brain. But yeah, Polton Bomber here.
Couple things that have started differentiating in these builds. Intense already getting his starport with the tech lab, so I'm curious to see whether or not this is going to be Raven or Banshee. Most likely it's going to be Raven, because he did end up building a Reaper out of his barracks. I believe that was him. Wasn't that him that built the Reaper? Or was that Red? With Calazur? No, it was Intense. And so most likely it is going to be a Banshee and not a oh my goodness, I just said it. Brain fart.
Raven?
Raven, thank you. Yeah, and it is Banshee because cloaking starts.
Alright.
So the Raven's coming out.
Right, for Calazur, it's going to be Medivacs. He has a few Hellions, a few Marines, and it looks like he may actually be going for a quick push here. Now the Hellions are really good. And the reason that Hellions have kind of taken over a lot of Marines is that when you line them up, they do massive amounts of splash damage. And that can be very good for pushes because once you're done killing the army, you can go straight to the mineral line and just decimate the mineral line. So you're seeing a lot of Hellions come out of Terrans recently. Banshee almost on the way out, Cloak halfway finished. And yes, we do have a medevac, and it is absolutely stuffed with stuff here. And now this is the beautiful thing. The medevac is going to drop, go to the 3rd of Kelazar, I'm sorry, the 4th, and then it's going to pick up the Hellions and drop the Hellions. Or it's just going to get shooed away. Good defense here by Intense. He did see it with his Banshee, so it's no wonder that he was able to stop that, but he's not out of the woods just yet.
Kelazar's got to be careful because while he's doing this pressure, the Banshee's about to roll in, and the missile turret isn't done yet. He's going to focus down the... no, he's not going to focus down the SCV building the turret. He should have, but he didn't. I wish he would have seen the SCV building the turret and focused that down. Ooh, the Banshee is... Okay, it's going to survive. Whew, that was close. Okay, the drop is coming back... wait, no.
Now it goes.
The drop is moving away? It's moving away.
I think he's just going for positioning here.
Yeah, okay, this is... So he's just going to position himself outside, make sure that Intense is never able to take an expansion, because the command center is just now going down, and so he wants to make sure that he's not going to be able to take that. So, probably take... Yeah, he's going to get one supply depot for his troubles. Nothing huge or grandiose. There it goes. It burns down, and boom, boom goes the supply depot. Okay.
Now, fortunately, Intense here has enough supply depots where he's not supply blocked just yet. But this is an annoying push here.
The big thing is what is he going to do with this Raven? Is he going to end up going for... Well, it's not going to be point defense drone. I mean, that would be worthless. He needs to drop a turret, though. If he's able to drop a turret, that could allow him... Yeah, there it goes. The turret's going to allow him to be able to keep this army pushed away for a little bit. Ooh, one of the Hellions goes down, and the Marines are starting to get kind of roasted on Kelazar.
Well,
he's got to be careful.
Kelazar did defend against a Banshee in his base, and I will mention that he is almost done with his own expansion. So, even though Kelazar's push was not, you know, as grandiose as he wanted, he didn't get a lot of SCV kills, he didn't get a lot of unit kills, what he did get was time to start up his expansion, and now we have 2 base versus 1 base, orbital command on the way, meaning that double meal production is going to be oh so wonderful.
Well, Intense does have his... excuse me, sorry. Intense does have his second orbital command on the way, but it hasn't landed and it hasn't started. Now, Intense is starting to oversaturate his main so he can do a worker transfer over there as well. But for right now, Kelazar is going to be sitting in a better position because he will have a better saturation of mining with the extra SCVs down in his natural that are going to be getting transferred here in just a little bit. I do have to make one caveat change on that though. Intense does have more SCVs, so even though he doesn't have a full second base going yet, when he does an SCV transfer, he'll be in a better situation, but I don't know if it's going to be much to make a huge difference at this point. It could go either way.
Well, the one nice thing that Intense has going for him is that these Banshees are being annoying, and Kelazar had to waste a scan to try and kill it, which means that he has less mules, so that's kind of nice. Little bit of a drop harass going on. We'll pick up and move out, and I think we have a little bit of time where we're not going to see a whole lot going on in this match. Both players are just going to continue to macro up. Both pretty secure in their defense. One head Banshee is going to cause trouble for Kelazar in his main here. And it will finally be taken out by 2 Hero Marines.
So, the longer this goes, I think this is going to favor Kelazar, actually. Because in TVT, he who controls the skies typically wins the most. And what Intense has right now is just a single Raven. Kelazar has a couple Vikings that are going to be able to move around and kind of help keep that... Oh, hold on, there's that battle going down at the natural here. The tanks have sieged up, but Kelazar's tanks are already sieged. One of them goes down, and the Marines are going to shut that down. Wow, what a great hold by Intense. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that push by Kelazar.
Yeah, he finds himself in a very bad spot here. 3 tanks for his opponent. not even one to his own name. He's producing one, he's producing them one at a time. Excuse me, he does have 2 tanks here, but, you know, this is a rough spot. 68 supply to 88. The Banshee's gonna come in and do more harassment. Will not get anything. Will try, though, and that's gonna trigger, Intense to pull back. He sees what the defensive Kelazar is and says, you know what? I'm not ready to bust you just yet. Let me go back home and defend, maybe get a 3rd base, and do something. He's a little bit indecisive. He's hanging out at the Zelnaga Tower. And it looks like he is going to commit. Okay, 3 medevacs, 3 tanks, and a handful of Marines here are going to be the weapon of choice for Intense. 103 supply to 80 supply. He's going to go to this back ramp, maybe?
He's going to pick up and he's going to drop in the main. Oh, no, actually, no, he's not. Yes, he is going to pick up. He's dropping the main. He's catching Kelazar out of position. This is awesome. This is wonderful for Intense. He cancels the 3rd command center, and the Marines get a lot of stuff going down here. This is a wonderful play by Intense. Ooh, great micro by Kelazar picking up that tank before it gets picked off there. But, is he going to get it? The Vikings have to land. The Marines are doing a lot of damage there. And, that medevac is so close on health. He gets it! He got the tank, he got the medevac, he got both Vikings. Intense is in an incredible position now.
Yeah, and He-Man brings the Banshee back. The Banshee now able to harass the tank. Will do a little bit of damage on the tanks at the natural. But it's these medevacs that really hold the key to victory here. Every time these Marines take damage, they just get healed right back up. This 3 Marine hit squad is being a complete champ. And they may even get a tank for their troubles. Are they going to get it? They will get a tank! 3 Marines getting a tank. SEV's finally being pulled here. Oh man, Heartless, this is such a bad position for Kelazar. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this.
Well, I have to say that these +1 upgrades have been worth more than their weight in gold. These +1 upgrades have been absolutely amazing. That's one of the reasons why those just Marines were able to take down a tank 3 or 4, maybe 5 Marines and take out a medevac. That upgrade was definitely worth it for Intense. And now Intense is going to be in a fantastic position. He's got double the, well, just had double the army supply. He's pretty much even in workers. But the real story also, though, is now when it comes to bases. The 3rd command center for Intense is already going down. The 3rd command center for Kelazar was canceled. Actually, no, I don't think it was canceled. I think it was flat out destroyed.
Well, Kelazar remade the 3rd base at his natural, so it is finished. He did make a 3rd base all the while that fight was going on. So, even bases, but it's the supply that tells the tale. Intense up 30 supply, has twice as many tanks as his opponent, and when it comes to TBZ, it's all about that positional play. It's about the tanks. And those tanks are going to be very important. They just bring so much splash damage to the battle. And 3 tanks versus 7, not exactly where you want to be.
The Doom Drop coming in the main! That is so much going in! And Kelazar is completely out of position. The tanks are going to siege up. And, Kelazar is going to have such a hard time holding this. Because, I mean, his tanks are just way out of position on this one. Holy, how many tanks is that? That's 7 tanks. Oh, the main is just getting shot down for Kelazar. This is an incredible TVT, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, the back and forth between each players. Kelazar, though, noticeably in a bad spot. His production soon to be camped by the enemy. This is going to be a tough spot, because even though, yeah, you say, okay, well, he's got 2 extra mining bases, well, 3, if he lands that CC elsewhere, he's going to have nothing to, he's going to have no way to build units, and that's devastating. He can't keep up with the production of his opponent.
Yeah, and there it is, there's the GG. Wow, that Doom Drop. That Doom Drop is what did it.
Yeah, that Doom Drop definitely was the nail in the coffin here. Both players playing well, however, Intense, able to go 3-0 today. I mean, I would definitely call him the ace of Team Walnut here.
Absolutely.
So we
quite the
yeah. Let's go ahead and recap really quick before we say our goodbyes. So we had Team Walnut versus Team Oxford today. Oxford High School versus Walnut High School. Walnut High School fielding a diamond and a master in Intense and Pro Killer. And Oxford, on the other hand, brought a lot of different players. They brought Print F, the Master Protoss. They brought Kelazor, the Master Terran. And they brought a gold player, and I can't remember his name. I'm so bad. I have it written down. Oh, yes, Aquero.
Ah, right.
So, both teams fielded 2 Masters, but it looks like, in the end, Walnut was just able to win out. Intense doing so much for his team today. Definitely the MVP. I'll be excited to see Walnut and see how far they go. I mean, the season is new. We're only about a month into it. So there's lots of matches left to be played, but Intense is a player we're going to look out for sure. Now, we haven't seen our first GM in High School Star League. We did have a GM in Arium, but Arium is no longer playing in the High School Star League, so we won't be seeing him. Do you think we'll see another GM enter the ranks of the high school students and really help their team dominate this league?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah, it's...
Not sure when it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure we'll see it.
Yeah, you know, these StarCraft players, you and I are pretty old for StarCraft, when all things considered. You got players like Life, who's 16, 2-time GSL champion, IEM Taipei champion. You've got, you know, Bomber, who's 24. Maybe he's 26. I don't remember. He's 24 or 26. You know, multiple Red Bull champion. You know, multiple MLG champion. You know, you got such great players that are young. You know, at some point we'll see another GM here in High School Star League, I would imagine. But that's it for us today. Tomorrow we're going to bring you another match between 2 high schools. We haven't yet selected the replays. Again, we don't pick the replays. They get sent to us from the higher orders, and they get filtered down to us, and we cast them. So we'll be just excited as you to see who we're going to get to cast tomorrow. Once again, from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 2 to 4 Central Standard Time. So make sure to check it out right here on the High School Star League Twitch chat and channel. Heartless, do you have anything to say to our wonderful audience?
If you liked what you saw, guys, make sure to please hit that follow button if you aren't already are, and please remember to spread the word.
All right, everyone. So from our sponsors, I'd like to say thank you once again. Big shout out to our sponsors. You see them in the bottom right here: Twitch, Newegg, Rocket, MSI, Blizzard, Jinx. Should come as no surprise. Big tech names getting in on the action. Show them some love. And by the way, shout out to Newegg. They have some great deals. Do check them out, please. It's been a great day, Heartless, of StarCraft, and we're going to be back again tomorrow. So make sure to tune in next time. And that's it for everyone here at High School Star League, for our sponsors, and for everyone at SCB Rush. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great day.